Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. Remember that your best self does not always mean winning. All areas of your life can't turn out the way you want to. That's simply not how life works. Instead, it's about acknowledging that being your best self means showing up to face each challenge. Today on our space, we find the inspiration to be our best selves. Our first OP fights some self-destructive behavior despite his world falling apart. Girlfriend admitted over wine she has been cheating because we can't have sex. I mean, like the title says, she's been getting railed for the last 12 years. I'll start off and say she said as her reason was because, and I'm not bragging, it's just relevant to the story, that because I'm well endowed we can't have sex unless she's pissed drunk. That's not fun at all, so I simply push for foreplay to at least please her, and make sure that there's the option to try if she wants to. Now I know in full detail in tapes she made where she went to get her satisfaction. It's just effing crushing because on one hand, I want to forgive her so bad, but on the other, I do care about my dignity. I feel like I'm letting the guys she cheated on me with win no matter the choice I make, but I just want to be happy. To be able to have peace and not be next to her wanting to cry because it's no use literally talking to her whatsoever. I tried just now to engage her in conversation and went on a mouth-drying conversation pouring my heart out to her about why I feel betrayed, but I also understand I simply wish she could have come to me sooner. And I would have been happy to try something different, maybe like swingers. The thought of having to share her, though, destroys me inside, like stepping on hot coal. So I kind of lightly pushed after to get an answer to something at least, and I might as well been talking to the wall. She swears up and down she loves me with all her heart and soul, and I do believe her, but she just wants to basically act like nothing happened and just move on. When I argue back it's not that simple, and that my feelings matter, then she's done talking to me, that I don't care about her family. She will take the kids and leave, etc. The usual threats either side would use, but still below the belt. I don't want to throw it away, but I also can't effing sleep or get these thoughts of them effing out of my head. Moving on would mean not seeing the kids as often, but it is also sparing them the terrible environment it creates when a parent is simply staying only for that reason. They see how miserable it is and our constant bickering when we are alone in our room. We never argue in front. So is it wrong because of how betrayed I feel and done that I want to move on and see someone right away if it happens? I'm just baffled she wants to not pretend she threw 12 years down the drain. I have been drinking and English is not my first language, so I apologize for the mistakes in writing. Thank you for the advice. Edit. Thank you everyone for the overwhelming responses, whether positive or negative. I'm starting to sort through everyone's comments and will keep responding to questions or statements. I have decided to retain a lawyer who is doing it on Monday to start the process of filing for divorce and do the DNA test. DNA outcome, obviously I'm so scared for because will I change towards my children if it's the outcome I'm pretty certain it is? It's not their fault, but the relationship is already established. And how the hell do you deal with not being the parent and what happens after? I promise to update this with the results. Before that update, let's get some community reaction, shall we? 7 Samurai 1954 AK says, 12 years, cheating on you. 12 years, lying to you. 12 years, being deceitful. 12 years, having fun with others. 12 years, letting you dry because your junk is too big. 12 years, being a fake wife. 12 years, and your child probably isn't yours. Your father is not getting the 12 years thing, but it's not him being cheated on for 12 years. 12 years later, divorce her and get a deserving girl. Did I mention 12 effing years? Hush Angel says, your girlfriend didn't cheat because you couldn't have sex. She cheated because she chose to cheat. Nothing you could have done would have caused her to or prevented her from choosing to cheat on you. There's absolutely no excuse, and her decision is fully her responsibility. You are not at fault here. Only she is. Belf17 chimes in, okay, listen, first, stop drinking. It's going to make you feel like crap and make things worse. Second, divorce. Go find a good lawyer and divorce. Sorry, but as you said, your kids will be happier with divorced parents. So lawyer, divorce, low contact, nothing except the kid stuff. Move on. Go on dates, and next time you find a girl, if she can't have sex with you, then move on to the next. OP replies, it's so true. Gutting when you reflect on the fact that it's 12 years down the drain. I can't stop thinking about the kids though. My parents keep pushing me to stay no matter what. To the point my dad has been calling me a dumbass for wanting to leave because she is willing to change and the kids deserve a strong father, not a weak one, who can't handle the bumps along the road. What a way to compare that to what his daughter did to me and our kids. BS Take 2 thinks, your dad is behaving like an idiot. He doesn't have to live your life, so he doesn't get a say. I can tell you, even if you argue away from the kids, they still know. There's a toxic vibe that hangs in the air, and you can't hide that. 6 months out, and my kid is way happier, more outgoing and more open with me than he has been in many years. Being a strong father is standing up for yourself, having boundaries and sticking to them, knowing when to take your kids out of a toxic situation. It's tough leaving in the beginning, man, but it gets better over time. So what that your cheater is willing to stay? That's not the point. She shouldn't have stayed. She should have talked through the issue and left you 12 years ago. Instead, she chose to lie, manipulate you, and cheat for the last 12 years. F that noise. You owe her nothing. Badger Brush 20 thinks, you don't need her for a test. Buy a pharmacy DNA test, get your daughter, and find out results. Talk to a lawyer. Listen to a lawyer. Listen to the lawyer. By the way, listen to the lawyer. Tell them and protect yourself. Walking away and serving her may finally wake her up. Okay, now for the update. So I found out the results of the DNA test I demanded from my wife, and as many of you suspected, both kids were not mine. I can't begin to describe the turbulence I'm feeling except to barely hold it together as I get ready to tell them goodbye. I already filed for divorce, and as heartbreaking as it is, I honestly feel a relief I can move on finally, to heal myself and hopefully one day find my purpose in life other than being a doormat. She tried begging for forgiveness, but I feel as if forgiveness is earned, not given, just because you apologize. Trust and loyalty is the most important in a relationship. Without it, what are we even doing together then? Thank you again for all the support and advice, everyone. I didn't know how else to update this properly, and I apologize for the errors, but I'm hanging out tonight with Jack and Coke. I know it's harsh that I made the choice to not have contact with the kids, even though I have raised them since birth, but it does me no good to even be there when my mind is so volatile. As I expected, my family basically cut me out of the will and nice inheritance, and no one wants anything to do with me as they feel, what decent human being would punish the kids? That she apologized. I started therapy this week, and the first words out of my therapist's mouth was no one should ever put their mental health last. I think I put enough people who did not deserve it first in my life, and the kids don't deserve that, but again, I feel it's not my concern anymore other than she keeps saying she's going to put me on child support. Does anyone know how that works even though I'm not the father? I'm in the unholy state of Texas for anyone wondering which state I'm in. I also apologize for grammar errors. I'm on mobile, and I did not know how to do a proper update post. I looked everywhere to do it right, but it seems there's not an easy way. Thank you for your time and effort to respond with advice and kind words. Ask for advice or responses, you're going to get it. First from Harold the Trash Panda. Ask your lawyer if you can go after her and AP for paternity fraud. You suffered real damages. Truth Lady 8678 says, God, she's an evil woman. I'd sue her for whatever you can get. She's literally destroyed 3 lives. You absolutely do not need that OP. No one does. You have every right to feel the way you do. Your whole world has just been turned upside down, and the life you thought you had was built on lies. It's totally natural to want to move on. People just want to be happy, loved, and respected at the end of the day. I think there are healthy ways to move on and cope with what is happening in your life. The healing process is going to take some time. It's important that you turn inwards right now and enlist in some healthy coping mechanisms. Don't fall down the dark hole that seems enticing, i.e. drinking. It's too easy to practice those strategies. As much as it hurts, we can't numb ourselves to the pain. In order to move on, we have to feel it. Do not go gentle into that good night. What are your thoughts? Give OP some of your best advice in the comments below. Up next, is it 3rd time's a charm? Or 4, 5, maybe 6? My wife cheated on me when we were dating. I found out about it, and after some time forgave her. We married and had our first child. Then our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Our marriage began deteriorating by our 2nd child, but we stuck at it and somehow made it kind of work. We've now been married for 8 years. To be honest, it has not been what I expected. I've learned much about myself over the years, and I will say many of those things are thanks to my marriage to her. We both have serious emotional issues stemming from our childhoods. Diagnoses have been thrown around, making things a bit clearer to see, easier to understand. We're still so unhappy. She wants to stick it out, but I am over it. At this point, I am convinced I would even be a better father to our children if I got out of this marriage. I'm having trouble seeing my life separated from our children at worst and seeing them 50% of the time at best. Here's the good part. When we were dating, she cheated on me with not only 1, but 5 guys. All these years, she told me it was only 1, which of course is bad enough. This all happened during a 6-month college internship in Florida, where she got to work for Disney. I'm not surprised, to be honest. This really solidifies my already negative view of her, unfortunately. She's great at many things as a mother and wife, sex including, even with me, but she has lots of trouble with the emotional aspect of marriage. And I've seen it's not only just marriage, her empathy is pretty low. So after 10 years, this all, past cheating, comes to light, I'm not surprised. I'm more shocked that she never said a thing. I won't be able to ever trust her again. Leaving now with 4 children we care for is the only thing holding me back from leaving. I don't want them to feel abandoned, and worse, with someone who I believe lacks complete empathy. Thanks for reading. Edit. When this all happened, I did ask her if she had been with anyone during our marriage, perhaps even just an emotional affair. She says no. Even if she had been with someone, I believe she would take this part to the grave for fear of possible scrutiny within the family for causing a divorce. Even if it were so, the possible pain and resentment it could cause our children if they found out is not worth it. Some community comments start off like this. Sin0289 says, unless you don't care, I'd say DNA test. In the end, it's not what she wants in this situation. I'd say play the long game. Speak to a lawyer and figure out how to handle this legally. Clearly, she doesn't feel guilty about this, so why should you? When it comes to the kids, it's hard, yes, but it's better to grow up in 2 happy homes than 1 broken one. Pull that Band-Aid off and start making the calls, man. Curious though, why does she want to stay after all this came to light? The OP replies, honestly, the only reason I can think of for her wanting to stay together is because she has yet to find herself a safe backup man to uphold her self-esteem. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. Next comment from Captain Big Nuts. I've heard the Disney dorms are like the party room in Caligula. Shine a black light at your own peril. 5 dudes in a 6-month period while you were dating? Yikes, sorry dude, I'd bail too. New Doom 83 chimes in. Relationships based off of a foundation of infidelity have over 70% failure rate if one person is the cheat. If they both are, it's more like 90%. B Wise Man 4 has a thought. This hurts to read so much. I understand the gut punches that continue even after you've accepted that you deserve better. I understand that sinking feeling in your stomach when you hear something good about them. It's literally awful. The curse that continues. You dodged a bullet while being shot in the chest. Your life is better without some trash human in it. Without some fictitious person making you feel less than and like you are an option. You aren't an option. You deserve to be put first and chosen every single day. You will find somebody like that, and you will get to love fully all over again. And next time, it'll be better. Meanwhile, he gets to pretend to be happy. He gets to lie to his friends. She gets to feel like she's a shameful secret. She's gross, and he's gross. Something that helped me and brought me peace this last week was realizing that I was never going to make him happy, because I was never going to be her, the woman with such low self-esteem as to accept being a secret and being lied to. I was never going to lack morals and integrity. That's why he needed somebody else. He needed somebody to worship him while he simultaneously felt better about himself because he views her as less than. My cheater thrived on an image and feeling like a good guy, and everybody believing he was great. He was literally empty inside. He knew I was better than he could ever be. He was never going to choose a better life for himself, and the minute I needed his help and support, I stopped being the worshiper, and he started to have to acknowledge his emptiness. These people are sick. You are not. You hurt now. I hurt now. But we have hope for bliss and happiness and genuine love and affection and loyalty. They live their lives the way they do in a tier below because they will always accept to desire garbage because they cannot fix themselves. Feel pity and laugh and mock their little empty existence. You're going to be all right. You're going to recover. OP, you said it yourself. You'd be a better father if you weren't in the relationship. Think of it not as abandoning your kids. Think of it as showing up. Showing up as you always should have and as your very best self. There's no way to do that if you are burdened by these thoughts that you're having about marriage. How are we supposed to be there for our kids when we can't even be there for ourselves? You can do this. Take control of your life and live that life that you deserve. Now is the time. There is a beautiful life beyond this marriage. It's knocking on the door. What do you make of this? Tell us in the comments. And as always, thank you for joining us today on Our Space. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, please let us know what you thought of today's content. Until next time.